the north node will aspect. What I mean by aspect, I mean by certain number of degrees from the north node position, this imaginary point, or this point that's not a physical body, this point that expresses one's purpose. There will be planets in the natal chart that may be approaching this position. There may be planets that are leaving this position. There may be planets that some of the newbies may recognize. Pardon me. Some planets that may be approaching an aspect, a number of degrees. I'd like to just add that, the newbies need to pay attention to the natal chart and their own birth chart, which will help them with some of these basic concepts that we are dropping. Even myself, as being adept in astrology, studying for over 12 years, recognize that these basic things and applying them to the natal chart are helpful in your day-to-day application of the science of cosmophysics.
Okay. Peace, man. Add something?
Indeed. Please do.
I just want to say, I love what both of y'all said. I'm in school right now, so, I'm sitting down, I'm loving it, I'm eating this up. What I want to add to it is a simple application for those who may already be in cosmophysics or astrology. So this is more for those people. But, anybody else who's getting into it can research this technique at another time. It's more of a technical thing, and that's taking the north node and putting it to the ascendant, or the house in which the north node resides in, and putting that to the ascendant and reading the way the planetary configurations are applied in that chart as another blueprint or map to help you achieve those destinies and to seek those destinies out, and to see the challenges and so forth and so forth. That was it. I just wanted to add that,
Okay, that was pretty good. That's the cosmophysics view. Taking a certain body and putting it at the ascendant to gain the focus or a wider understanding. Because under those circumstances, with the north node in the first house, you're looking directly at the north node and isolating it. And the third house of that chart would show you how best to express that. Where the third house of the south node would show you how best to express. And when I say the third house of the node, I mean 60 to roughly between 60 and 90 degrees away. Likewise, anything that is at 120 degrees or 240 degrees away would also indicate how to expand the upper rung of that trine. Will show you how to expand upon it. So yeah, that was pretty good. I want to go in on the nodes a little bit more with regards to what Will said, because the nodes do represent an aspect of our personality that seems to be impulsively uncontrollable, like destiny and fate. These things you can't get around, because you're going to engage upon the activity that it indicates, willingly or unwillingly. However, you don't have to do it unwittingly, unknowingly. So, it's best to be aware of what your impulse and your drives are and what your purpose is, so that you can best use it to your advantage on both ends of the spectrum. It's like if there's always a tendency to avoid confrontation or to tackle difficulties and obstacles, when every human being has them, and some people here are here to learn that specific lesson. They're here to learn how to overcome obstacles more so than others. Some people have more obstacles than others. With the north node in a sign that indicates this, then the tendency to avoid your responsibility, or the tendency to try to get around it, without properly tackling that with the proper type of charisma, with the proper type of enthusiasm, then you would being aware that this tendency exists in your chart, and that this is what indicated, it helps you and propels you even that much more to overcome it, or to enhance and to embrace that tendency in a manner that will enable you to be more successful, to live a more harmonious life in the face of the fact. All right. Marcus, he said something too. MARKHU said something too. My head is swimming 1,000 miles per hour here. I can't recall exactly what he referred to.
Also, in an aspect that when a lot of people, I noticed that when I do a lot of readings for people, I realize that most people want to know about love, money, and career, and children. And so when you're looking at the North Node, and if it's in one of the houses that indicate the subject I just spoke about, or its relationship to the planets that indicate that those matters, or its relationships to them, and that's the aspects, I like to say relationships that they form to them. This is an indicator or blueprint of how the struggles, the challenges you'll have with money, with love, with children, career, and how to map out that blueprint. For instance, if someone has the North Node, and the North Node is naturally in the house of career, or if the North Node is squaring the planet that rules the house of career, or squaring the actual house itself. And so they understand that they have certain challenges to overcome and to be aware of in order to achieve their destiny, as well as within their career, or utilizing the career to achieve the destiny. Or some people may realize that a career is not exactly for the career, or the type of career that they're pursuing is not exactly for them,
Yeah, I wanted to also say, to elaborate on that, when you have the nodes in a specific house that indicate, like for example, if your North Node is in the second house, and then Saturn, the taskmaster, the burdensome, the delayer, the former of obstacles, and the debtor or the loser is attached to your finances, then you come here to learn lessons in finances regarding debts and regarding shortcomings and the instability of finance and a very difficult workload, and the aspect that the nodes make to that will determine exactly how prevalent the burden or the debt or the shortcoming, or how hard the work will have to be with regard to you being able to attain your financial dreams. All right? Because some people are here to experience wealth. We know this by virtue of the fact that they're born wealthy. Okay? They inherit this just by birthright, right? And then there are some people who are here to, as if they're born wealthy, not to stay wealthy. Okay? And this goes all the way around the board. There are several kingdoms in your life, okay, and in the realm of your spirit. There are several kingdoms. There are several areas of life that you have to engage, and some of them are going to be more difficult than others. So when a person comes to you and he says, as we say, a lot of people want to know about love and children, or money and career, all right? If their North Node is squares their career, then it doesn't mean that they won't have a career, but it will mean that their career does not contribute to their purpose here, or their purpose here does not contribute to their career. And I'm going to give you an example of this, all right? I was watching a documentary today about this European who invented the telescope. He was a musician, all right, who actually he modified Newton's design on the reflecting telescope, okay? Now, this cat was a musician. He wasn't an astronomer. I mean, he was a musician and an astronomer. But professionally, he was an artist and a craftsman. And his hobby and his obsession with astronomy had ought to do with his job, with his career. Now, his greatest contribution to humanity was what he innovated into that telescope, according to the television show. I'm just using this as an example. So even though he didn't feed himself with the telescope, you see, he left a legacy for mankind. So his purpose here was to furnish the means for people to expand their minds on an astronomical basis. Though his music does not survive us, though his artwork does not survive us, the only piece of art that survives us was that machine that he invented to enhance the performance of the telescope. So, you know, and he continued all his life to feed his family through his artistic means.